Imagine spending years crafting the perfect relationship, thinking that the more you gave, the more she'd love you back, only to wake up one day and sense she's drifting away. You gave her everything: time, attention, support. But instead of drawing her closer, it somehow pushed her away. What's going on here? Today, we're going to tackle a tough question. Why do women lose attraction when you give them everything? A lot of people believe that romance, real attraction, is about grand gestures and endless giving. Movies paint this picture all the time. The hero goes all in, sacrifices, showers his love interest with gifts and affection. But what happens after the credits roll? If you've ever found yourself on the other side of those movie moments, you probably discovered that reality is a lot more complicated. Sometimes the more you give, the less she seems to want. You're left wondering, if love is about giving, then why does total devotion trigger distance? Here's a truth that's hard to absorb until you've lived it. Attraction isn't built on comfort or safety alone. Something in us craves a little uncertainty, a little tension, a sense that the other person is still a prize to win, not just a sure thing. If you remove that tension by giving everything up front, you risk erasing the mystery, challenge, and excitement that make romantic connections so electric. But let's back up. What does it mean to give her everything? For most guys, it means being the perfect boyfriend or partner, always available, always accommodating, never disagreeing, and meeting her every need before she even asks. You might pick up on every signal she sends, respond right away to texts, cancel plans for her, shower her with attention, compliments, gifts, and make it clear that your whole world revolves around her. Over millions of years, we've developed instincts designed to help us find the best possible mate. The science shows that our minds process dozens of signals at lightning speed. Physical cues, status, confidence, behavioral traits, and more. The feeling of excitement or spark isn't just emotional. It's a result of this biological matchmaking algorithm firing on all cylinders. One of the strongest signals in the system is confidence. Women are wired to notice signs of self-assurance because, over evolutionary time, confidence was linked with resourcefulness, strength, and the to survive and protect. When a man pours everything into a woman, especially if he does it in a way that seems desperate, needy, or self-sacrificing, he may inadvertently send the opposite signal, that he's not confident in himself, his value, or his ability to attract others. Instead of being a prize, he's painting himself as someone who depends entirely on her for validation or happiness. Now, this doesn't mean gifts or support are bad. It's the context, the energy behind them, that matters. When you're genuinely confident and your gestures come from a place of abundance, not need, you fuel attraction. But if you constantly give in hopes that she'll love you more or fear that she'll leave if you don't, you create an emotional imbalance. She feels it. You feel it. It's not sustainable, and over time, she becomes less attracted, not because you're a bad person, but because the relationship lost the very tension that made it exciting. Let's get practical and talk about emotional dynamics. Every healthy relationship needs a sense of mutual give and take. Women want to feel special, noticed, and valued. That's a universal truth. They get a deep sense of connection when a man genuinely sees and appreciates them, not just in words but in actions, gestures, and attention. The catch is, acknowledgement needs to be meaningful. The more you give without boundaries, the more you risk turning genuine affection into a transaction, a routine, predictable exchange. When a woman realizes she can always have your time, love, attention, and support at any moment, with no effort required, she won't value it the same way. Human nature is wired to appreciate what's earned, not what's guaranteed. It's the little bit of unpredictability, the challenge of winning someone's devotion, that keeps attraction alive. If this still feels confusing, let's look at attachment and desire. In psychology, desire isn't something that blooms in security. It grows in moments of anticipation, with a sprinkle of uncertainty. When you're slightly mysterious, she's drawn to discover more about you. When you have your own passions, boundaries, and life outside the relationship, she sees you as a complete person. Not just a provider, but someone with a purpose. That's attractive. Also, if you're ready to fast-track your success, check out my new course in the description or comments for exclusive strategies. If one partner gives everything and asks nothing in return, there's no growth, no challenge, no reason to invest emotionally. Women, just like men, want to feel like they're contributing, supporting, and sometimes even chasing, not just being served endlessly. Some guys notice this dynamic in their own lives and make a desperate push to fix things by doubling down. More gifts, more compliments, more concessions. But this spiral misses the point. Attraction thrives on respect, boundaries, and mutual exchange, not endless giving. Let's talk about what giving her everything can look like in real life, and why it often backfires. You're always available, never busy, never occupied with anything outside the relationship. She texts, you drop everything and reply instantly. At first, she's glad for your attention. Over time, she starts to wonder, why doesn't he have anything else going on? Why is he so ready to toss aside his life for me? Instead of being a partner with values and standards, you become a mirror, reflecting only what she wants to see. Strong, healthy women want a partner who can challenge them, encourage them to grow, and sometimes even disagree. If you suppress your voice, attraction fades. You spend lavishly, buying gifts, paying for every outing, trying to impress with material things. While generosity is admirable, making it your primary currency takes away from emotional connection. The exchange starts feeling less about genuine affection and more about buying attention or love. She senses it, and the spark dries up. You apologize for things you didn't do, taking the blame to avoid conflict, smoothing over every bump. Over time, she loses respect. Respect is a cornerstone of female attraction. When you don't hold your ground or stand up for yourself, you teach her, subconsciously, that you're not someone worth chasing. It's communication, authenticity, and acknowledgement. When you have real conversations, show emotional intelligence and recognize her efforts, not by flooding her with praise, but by genuinely seeing what she does and appreciating it. It builds real intimacy and respect. The irony is, women often lose attraction not because they're ungrateful or don't want love, but because they crave reality over fantasy. Real connection is reciprocal. It's about give and take, moments of mystery, and sometimes working to win each other's approval. If you supply unlimited attention without requiring her to invest, the relationship becomes unbalanced. She loses interest because there's no challenge, no depth, no true partnership. The feeling of earning someone's affection is critical to sustaining love. People thrive on novelty and challenge. Studies show that when we feel too safe, attraction can fade because our brains are wired to seek excitement, mystery, and growth. When the outcome of the relationship is too predictable, when feelings are given, not earned, our desire dries up. It's not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about recognizing that healthy relationships require a balance between security and excitement. Now, none of this means you should be cold, aloof, or unavailable. Some people react to this advice by trying to be mysterious and distant at all times. That's not love, that's avoidance. What you do need, however, is to maintain your own life, purpose, and standards. Healthy boundaries signal confidence and self-respect. When you value yourself, have your own goals, and bring her into your world as a partner, not the center of your universe, you create space for mystery, growth, and real attraction. The best relationships balance comfort and growth. They provide security, but still maintain that little edge of uncertainty, the challenge of earning each other's affection. When you give everything up front, you erase that edge and romance becomes routine. let's bring it back to the bigger picture. Society trains men to believe that total giving is the key to a woman's heart. But psychology and real-life experience show that attraction is more nuanced. The very behaviors that seem most generous, total availability, endless giving, zero boundaries, are often the ones that sap the life out of romance. If you're struggling with this, remember, boundaries are attractive. Self-respect is attractive. Having your own life, dreams, and opinions is attractive. When you give her everything at the expense of yourself, you turn the relationship into a one-way street. Instead, let her chase you a little. Maintain the mystery. Let her earn your affection just as you earn hers. Thanks for watching. If you want to get the results you wish for fast, then check my limited time offer on my new course, which will skyrocket your success in dating. Click the link right now down below in the description or in the comments, and grab this opportunity. See you in there.